feel uh, but about Dead and Company and Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds. But we'll see what happens from there. The next thing that I wanted to get into is an update on getting into Phish. And I've tried this a couple of times, just like the Grateful Dead. The first time I started to try to get into the Grateful Dead, it didn't work. It just didn't. It didn't. It didn't. I was not ready, and I was still listening to all types of classic rock and prog rock, and I've always listened to hip hop and R&B. I could not get the Grateful Dead for years until about 2015, I would say. Right as the Fare Thee Well, was it 15? Yeah, was that 15? The Fare Thee Well tour, which was at the time I was working at StubHub, so I was actually dealing with different ticket errors that were going on with that event and people buying and selling and making sure we vetted people that were selling and making sure people who were buying understood, hey, this is how it works for the tickets. So I was in that part of my life. I actually was in the you know in that industry, but Phish this year during the pandemic, I took a trip right after I got vaccinated, and then right after I was vaccinated, I went down to Virginia to visit more of Virginia, and then I took some precautions and visited certain family members who were vaccinated with masks and all that. But during that trip down to Virginia, it's about an 8-hour drive, I believe, from where I live down to Virginia Beach. I was listening to Phish Radio there and back, and it just clicked. And here's what I've noticed so much. Noticed so far. Um, I love the transitions that Phish has in songs. One of my favorite things about progressive rock is the transitions. I love how Phish is able to seamlessly transition back and forth, up and down, left and right into various styles of music in the same song. Yes, that's what a jam band does. Yes, of course. But Phish does it to a level that I just haven't seen done and executed so well. And they've been doing this for a long time. So I really love how these transitions, even better than some of the bands that I like in this genre, like the String Cheese Incident, right? Like Umphrey's McGee, right? I love how these transitions they're fun and they're amazing transitions. And Trey's lead guitar playing is just awesome. It reminds me of Michael Kang from String Cheese Incident. It's a very bright tone. It really rains throughout. It's dancing through the various jams. You hear Trey. I love his playing, and I've heard his playing with uh, Dave and Friends, and I've heard some of his other stuff over the years. His collaborations, his playing with the Grateful Dead for the Fare Thee Well. But I love some of his lead stuff. And the thing about Phish too is they still, and this is what I kind of don't like about D&B. I know Phish fans are critical and they'll say that certain eras have good and bad, but from the early '90s stuff I've heard from there through the mid '90s to the 2000s, they have a balance of sound, meaning you can hear the piano when appropriate, you can hear the bass when appropriate, you can hear the electric guitar stand out when appropriate, right? Everything that's supposed to be highlighted is highlighted, and everyone plays or rallies around whoever has the solo, whoever has the special part, whoever's driving that song or driving that rhythm or driving that groove. And again, I'm a new member, and I'm sure someone who watches Dave Matthews Band live for the first time isn't going to be as critical as I am of that band. But I'll tell you this, man, Phish is all like the way they all work as a team. And granted, they've also had the same lineup, right? Leroy Moore has passed, right? Butch has left. Tim came on and guested in the 90s, but then was officially around to try to replace some of the void that Leroy had. Boyd was with the band. Now he's not. He had his good years, he had his bad years. But Phish is solid. Every era of the band I've heard, is solid and balanced, and they work off of each other. It's a true jam. When you hear these things, you hear what you need to hear. There's tons of space. So here's what I'll do. So I'm gonna look at some of the songs. So one of the things I have been listening to with Phish is I Am Hydrogen, the Weekapaug Groove. And this is an awesome flow. I love how it starts off slow with I Am Hydrogen. Whenever they don't always do this, but when they do it, like it's awesome. And then they get into that groove and they're just, it's pretty dope, right? I love that flow of that song. And just very very solid transition between those two things, and it's kind of one of the first transitions I noticed from the band after listening to this, because other bands they have like what Dead and the Grateful Dead help Slip, Frank, right, or DMB. Obviously there's tons of different things, PNP and the Rapunzel, right, Proudest Monkey and the Satellite. It was kind of the first thing I noticed that they kind of do back to back, and sometimes they'll have a Mike song in there before I Am Hydrogen, or they'll have it in the same set. They kind of pair these songs, a Mike song, I Am Hydrogen, and We Can Pop Groove. You'll see that as well. The next song is Reba, and I love Alpine 2010 Reba is just awesome. And again, the transitions are great, but Trey goes off. Trey Anastasio goes full steam off on this solo from Alpine Valley. And I was just like, wow. When I first heard this, I was like, yo, this is incredibly dope. What he is doing and how this thing is driving, and the flow of the solo and jam at the end is awesome. But I love, and that actual show is one of the shows I've listened to front to back. What I've been doing is I've just been pulling various versions of some of these songs that you're going to see me just give some reaction on, and just go for walks every day. And I listen to another version of Reba, or another version of Harry Hood, or another version of 555, although that's not on here as far as one of the things I'm reviewing. The next one is Harry Hood. And I love the intro, should be a song. Like I love this, like oh yeah, here it is. It's that D minor, I love this intro. And then it goes to this could be a whole song. And that's just the first part. Like, I love this song, Harry Hood. Like, it's real dope. It's got that reggae vibe, and then it gets into like the true jam band flow after that. I'm actually trying to learn some of this stuff on guitar. Still a work in progress, but I love this song. And just another cool thing. One I didn't put on here, I just started getting into it, is Divided Sky. It is an experience. I was just listening to that today. I'd heard it a couple of weeks ago as well. Divided Sky is something that is starting to, and I know it's a fan favorite, or I guess it's one of those things that the fans talk about. But Divided Sky is dope. Farmhouse. I love the backing vocals. I've heard a couple of versions of this song, and one that's kind of on YouTube is the Farm Aid one, which that's more of a main. They're not doing their full show, but the Farm Aid from 1998, that Farmhouse. But I love the backing vocals in this. It reminds me of Umphrey's McGee. What I love about Umphrey's is they have some beautiful melodies, and the backing vocals behind the lead singer. There, shout out to Umphrey's McGee, and wishing them well. They had to cancel their New Year's run, just like Phish. But shout out to Brendan, Jake, the rest of the boys from Umphrey's, Chris, right, Ryan. We're sending our love to you guys. I know you had to cancel the Miami New Year's Eve run, but I love how Farmhouse has an awesome it's just an awesome like vocal type of thing. What's up, Luke? I see you came on. Thank you for checking in, and don't forget, guys, if you're watching this on replay, if you're watching this live, hit the like button. It helps me to get more exposure. Leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe so they can get these updates. Um, but Farmhouse is awesome. I love the backing vocals of it. I love the song. It's more of a laid back type of jam, but it's awesome. I like where Trey takes you with his lead stuff in Farmhouse. And then we have Tweezer. Obviously, this is one of their most popular songs here, but Tweezer is just pure awesome in a song. It's probably one of the first Phish songs I had heard of even before this year. But it's just an awesome song. It's just so much greatness going on. You know, you turn on any Tweezer in the first like 3 to 4 minutes, and you're just gonna get overwhelmed by the awesomeness of this band, from the basses to the keys to the lead guitar and the drums. So Tweezer is just pure awesome in a song. That's what I have so far. Because the New Year's Eve run of Phish got moved, I'm looking to go in April to the Phish shows in April. We'll see where we're at. We'll see what the prices are at. I may buy in advance. We'll see what happens um, there. And but that's my little Phish segment. I love so far. I'm loving the live stuff. I'm not even listening to the studio stuff. Just listening to the live stuff and just enjoying or just popping in my Apple Music. Shout out to them, listening to it in the lossless quality with my headphones, spatial audio feature, Dolby Atmos features with my headphones that pair with that. That's awesome. And Luke says, so what is Dave and Tim going to be doing for Mexico?